Hello friends, hello fans, hello loyal audience. You're welcome to my show here, commentary on the movie Alien. Even if you're just one fan, I will cater to your information here, beef up your information. So this is commentary video number 11, hindsight and retrospect commentary on the movie. So that's number 11. I got number 8 as a main movie commentary. I have some comments to add to that, and then I believe, video number 9. I will be able to finish the commentary on the movie itself in video number 9, and perhaps add video number 12 on commentary as well, and then video number 13 will be my typical jargon and parlance and really what this movie is all about. And uh, uh, so we'll go there. So here, as you can see, these two are not humans, as we know. Well, according to what the script and hidden script is talking about. This guy is the dark guy, and this guy is the other guy. They're making an assumption about who he is. In video number 8, I explained to you that they're making an assumption or portraying Muhammad as Ash, right? So I will come to show you more evidence on that. I think I skipped on the 3 boys, although it showed, but I kind of got past it without noticing about his 3 boys and 4 girls and so on. So I'll make comments here. But here, this guy is the fallen angel, but now he's scared, like they say, shkitless. Why? Because he hasn't seen anything so powerful before. Could it be in the movie that this guy is the xenomorph and this guy is the other guy? So what I am trying to say is, there's, according to the dogma of those guys, right? There's the God and there's the anti-God, or God and the devil, and so on and so forth, right? Do you remember when Keanu Reeves told Al Pacino, but at the end you're gonna lose in the movie, what is it, like the devil's advocate or something of the sort? And he says, well, consider the competition, right? So maybe that's the one, the big xenomorph. Maybe that's the one that is the devil, right? Okay, but I mean, this is only an assumption. Notice they portray him as such. You know how his eyes do actually glare or glow in the back end when he's darkened. However, they also show you that the right eye or left eye, if there's any, you know how cameras sometimes show the left as right and right as left. I don't know what that feature is, or that deficiency, but you can mirror it, right? So let's see. But I think that's his right, because he uses his right hand.
All right, there's a
So keep noticing that.
big opening along the way. We can cover that up, and then we drive it in the airlock and zap it into outer space.
The son of a bitch is huge.
Huge, right?
It's like a man. It's big.
So I think that's who he is, Kane's son. But this is one of the assumptions I'm making here. I am on the right track, but maybe missing some on the personalities, right? Why do they call him Ash? In the video number 8, I explained Ash maybe because he got burned, but I got different idea now. I think they call him Ash because wherever he moves, he ashify things, can't be farther from the truth. Also that, Ash may mean just hellfire or something of the sort.
Come on, Ash. I mean, science department should be able to help it.
Science department. That's, I'm sure they really mean the Arabs here.
What can we do to drive it?
Notice how his eye here, they portray his eye. And that's not accident. That's not lighting problem here. They mean to. The lighting in the movies, I noticed the lighting in the movies is really intentional. So they darken one side and light up the other. And notice, keep noticing.
Well, it's adapted remarkably well to our atmosphere, considering its nutritional requirements,
It's nutritional requirement, right? Give me a second. Let me fix that. Sorry. Okay. So.
We don't know about its temperature.
Okay, what about temperature? What happens if we change it?
Okay. Now notice Parker.
Can you rig 3 or 4 incinerator units?
I mean, he's paralyzed, poor boy, by the sight of that xenomorph.
Give me about 20 minutes, I'm doing.
Gets to go into the vent.
All right.
I'm doing prod, like a cattle prod.
So I'm going to revisit the prod again. The prod is definitely a reproductive organ, but they consider him animal, right? You know, that's why they're portraying it as an animal. The sparks actually are the genetic material.
So I'm doing prod, like a cattle.
And like I said, look what he does. He points at that emblem on his jacket, which he supposedly probably adheres to out in the open, however, undercover, being undercover, right?
It's got a portable
And now he is got his hand on his heart, right?
battery.
And notice the sparks are actually the sperms, and that's how, you know, eventually look at where the sparks are going to go off.
Insulated all the way here, all the way up to here. Just like damn sure nobody puts their hand on the end of it.
Yeah, don't put your hand on the end of it. So you want to block the genetic material that they're seeking out. They want to trap the xenomorph, right? And then the xenomorph, after they trap it, they will try to destroy it. But that also means the man that is the carrier or the host himself. They don't want to kill, but they want to entrap. Did you see that? Okay, let's try that again. See? It's around Ripley's head. And now she closes her eyes. See? He is looking. He's not. Maybe he's oblivious to what's going on. You know, in a number of movies, whether it is The Shining or Here or Morpheus or whoever it is, they portray the Ripleys or the Sarahs, they portray Satan or the fallen angel as a black man, as I explained that before. However, when they do that, they also show you that he's under their control. I don't believe that, or even in Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut, Nick Nightingale is really the devil. How do I know? Well, I was gonna make a commentary on that, but no, maybe not. However, it's Nightingale is a bird that sings to you, right? But Nick is Old Nick of England, right? Old Nick is really the devil, right? However, if you look closely, he's got a small goatee, and then when he sits in that cafe where he plays at night, you know, with Tom Cruise, and then he's looking at Tom Cruise, he tilts his head to the right, and then you see the eye and the goatee and so on. The impression is really how sometimes the devil is illustrated by some, you know, imaginative people and so on. So what they do show you is like they're always running the devil. I don't believe that's possible. But maybe what they mean is they're tricking him, right? Eventually he came to work for them, right? And like it or not. Could that be possible? I have, you know, a lot of doubts, but it's a possibility, you know? It's a possibility right there and then. So again, let's see that.
Shut down, you little bastard.
Little bastard. You know, like, why isn't he a little bastard? Because his mother is known, right?
Scan center.
But his mother is known, but his father is not, right? Notice the discharge of the sparks, right?
Here, all the way up to here. But damn sure nobody puts their hand on the end of it.
Notice the look on her face and his face as well. That's like there's something psychological and unconscious about it. They're not comfortable with what's going on. And the meaning of it really is that's how they want to extract the seed from Cain, right? Right? Or now from the cat itself. Did you see how she got like notice how she you know how she reacts, right? She's like startled. See, she's startled, and the look on her face is very explaining, right? It's very obvious. Well, not very obvious, very subtle, but I mean, if you're you know, if you got the sense of observation, you know, keen sense of observation, you can see that that's who they mean by it, right?
Shut him down, you little bastard. Unless it scans them.
Notice, now she's sad and so is he. They're like thinking twice about this.
But it will give him a little incentive.
You see, she's uncomfortable with the whole thing.
I just have to find it.
But-
I'm taking care of it. I designed this tracking device. You just sit.
Okay. So here I showed you why Ash spread his arm, extended his arm to block the vision, or the sight, to block Dallas's sight, right? Dallas. And as you can see, there was some transfer here. However, if you look closely, I had a different idea that doesn't invalidate this, but I mean, it works, you know, it's very related to it. See, he picks up the milk, right? He picks up the milk from next from the side or from the of the table where Lambert is, which confirms his relationship to her, that he's one of her offspring, right? So this guy is, let's put it this way, timeless, meaningly he was there when she was Hagar, or when she was just Arabism, or you know, those occults and so on that destroyed Islam, which is him, right? And so on and so forth, right? But here the milk means maybe he's her son, that she nursed him at one point. You see?
I am cold.
She says she's cold when he picked up the milk, right? That she's cold, right? I don't know how to correlate this between this and the feeling, you know, of cold when he picked up the milk, and then there is a transfer here. Cold may mean, I don't know, I tried to explain it, but cold may mean like you know, that she doesn't have that motherly feelings toward him, right? Protection and love and tenderness and so on. So she's cold toward him, right? And toward Cain.
Still with us, Brett?
Right.
Okay, here in video number 8, when Ash supposedly dealt like some violent psychological love to his wife Sarah, I mean not Sarah, rather than Sophia or Safia, right? And then I explained about those small figurines that he was on the Ripley's console, or Sarah's console, when she got up and sat on her console. Let me show you that again.
Right.
All right, so that's them right there. So there is that blue, which I explained to be Parker, and that green or yellow being Brett Green, right? Little figurine. There's a smaller figurine here. I think that's the one with the spring leggies, right? As when the fight happened between Ash and everybody else, he was like hanging around, right? But then I explained that this here, there was a figurine. So there's that figurine, and that is Ash himself, right? Or one of them, right? And he's looking at Lambert, right? So he's one of their here. Now, who's that historically? I am thinking that's like there are what's probably called is like since the Prophet was married to 13 wives, as history tells us, or as you know, there's dispute about one or two, right? So maybe that's them. I don't know. But here, that is him, right? That is that figurine, and looking at Lambert. I mean, I'm sorry, at Ripley or Sarah. So that, what does that mean is like what she's being watched, right? And then of course you got those control conduits, flexible conduits, and you know, pipes and so on, and wires, and so control is everywhere, right? And that control ends up in the White Shuttle, which is the White House. Yeah, I'm going on the financial side again. Okay, I think that's the figurine that was sitting in front of, or fixed in front of Ripley on her console. That was watching her. He's here now, right? See, there's that, there's that, there's that. You probably have to have the insiders information to what they mean. But if they're hanging from heaven, then that's them, right? maybe they're talking about those, I don't know. But one of them, I'm making the assumption here, is him, right? They're trying to portray him as, whoever it is, right? Okay, let's see. My explanation about the wives and she being Sophia is correct. So here you see the 4 eggs. The 4 eggs denote embryos. I think it means daughters, right? I believe so. This I'm confident now. I'm pretty conclusive. I have a conclusive, I'm very convinced that they mean, or they're trying to portray Muhammad by this guy. Uh, is that his mother? Notice how tender she is. She's trying to pull him back and so on. So these are the 4 daughters, right? Because egg simplify or signify embryo, right? And then I explained that so that's the supposedly the little girl, the first or the second wife, I believe, or something like that. They're making the assumption on that. Now I want to okay, let me show you the 3 boys. Okay, the 3 boys are here. There's that guy, and there's a boy here. Let me try to slow down the picture, and there's a boy here. And then I think that's him, as I mentioned, right? He's a puppet of upstairs, meaning the God, right? Or the big daddy xenomorph. So let me try to slow down. Let me try to slow down. So there's one, right? And there was 2, right? So there's that boy, right? There's one here, apparently looking dead. And there's one behind him, I think, and there's this guy. Let's play it. Yeah, there's definitely 3 boys. If you slow it down, you'll find it. Okay, Android here means he is a machine. He's a machine, right? And as you can see, there are 2 figurines here, creatures. I don't know what they are, right? And here there's some kind of I really can't tell, right? There's a picture, and there's a picture here. So Android means he's a machine, meaning he receives instructions. He's not operating on his own, right? Is what he means by Android, right? So Android, and you know what? There is some truth to that, because the Prophet Muhammad was receiving revelation from God, from Allah, right? He wasn't speaking on his own terms. He was a representative. Now, he wasn't dumb, right? No. He was very, very, very intelligent, is why Allah or God chooses him, right? And he's specially built, and so, but here what they're trying to say is that this is a bad trait. He's just like a puppet, right? Android is a puppet, right? So those around him, those, I explained to you that figurine, really, he's a puppet. That's what they mean by Android. So I explained earlier in the transitory video when I saw that they're blocking my so and so, right, videos because of fake copyright and whatnot, right? That this tank, which is like oxygen tank or something, is really cash or money, currency, or shares or stock market or whatnot, right? And here you can see the control. There is control in him, right? These are conduits or tubes of control, orders, wires, whatnot, and there is that puppet or hanging from the ceiling. So he's killing him by money, right? So we know that this guy is being portrayed as Parker, who's the fallen angel, has been portrayed as a coward, no heroics or something like that. So what is he doing here? Well, what they mean is that the nation that represents that prophet or believes in that prophet is being corrupted by money, right? And that's really hitting him. You see the analogy here? Jesus was one, right? Also a robot. God, robot, right? So he's a robot of God, right? Damn him. You, that is Parker, well, whoever wrote this. So that's what that is, ash. So ash means hellfire. You know, everything is burned in hellfire. And he also, wherever he goes, he ashifies. The opposite is true. We know the history of man, and the modern age is really his and his people's making, right? In its science, they call him the science officer, right? Justice holds rights of people and protection of personal properties and rights, and education is now mandatory, and you get something called the police and justice halls and universities and right, and you name it, right? The modern age was born by him, if they that's who they mean by him, and now I am certain that's who they portray Muhammad as Ash, right? Okay. So now Lambert rescues Ripley, right? Lambert, we know it's his mother, it's his people. It could mean occults as well, right? And now she slams him with that. I explained to you that this is a phallus, right? Why is she doing that to him? She's breaking it, right? She's breaking it. Let me show you something here. Okay, so that's the head of the phallus, right? It's broken. What does that mean, really? It means that he, supposedly Muhammad, and that's the other thing that I got an evidence from, that's who they mean by it, is that he's broken. When his 3 young children or young boys died, as one as infant, I believe, 2 as toddlers, and so on, that he is being discontinued. He no longer continue. His seed is blocked, right? Is what they're saying. So that's it. He's broken, and that was broken by his own supposedly mother. Now Lambert, I explained as Hagar, maybe I think so, but also could mean that those occults, like such as Karamatians, such as Alawis, such as Shiites, and so on, who really are part of him, and they should have protected him. But Ripley and Parker and Brett before that played here, right? And they used here. That dumb Lambert. Lamb. All right, let's play.
Ash, can you hear me?
So I wanted to explain something about the milk, right? The milk here, when Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven, right? The Archangel Gabriel came and woke him up in his sleep. But before the ascension trip to heaven, right? He took him to Jerusalem, right? And the Temple Mount, as it's called today, wasn't there when they arrived. When the Muslims arrived there, it wasn't there. It was something else, right? Altogether, because a few hundred years later, nearly 600 years before, the Romans destroyed the temple and so on and so forth. So when he arrived, all the prophets were gathered for a prayer. But then Archangel Gabriel gave him 2 glasses, one of milk and one of wine. And then he rejected the wine and accepted the milk. That's the other thing, right? And then he commended him on that choice. He told him so and so. This is well known. You can research it. It's available on the search engines, right? Prophet Muhammad and the glass of wine and the glass of milk, right? Now, I want to tell you something. They accuse him, like I said, of marrying a 6.5 years old. We know that's not true. Some people say, oh, she was 9. We know that's not true. But we know for certain she was 12 and a half. She was. And then back then, they marry a lot, right? There was apparently no code around women, except when this man came, whether it was, you know, modern day Europe, it wasn't called Europe then, or Asia, or Africa, or wherever, right? Women were just basically commodities, were traded and used and so on, and they never inherited. They sold them sometimes, and the girls and so on. The boys were basically fighting force, and they brought money and so on, while women were, even among the earlier Arabs, not all of them, right? Those Arabs before Islam, women was really basically nothing before Prophet Muhammad came. So now, as I said, her own father kept reminding him of the engagement and so on, you know, but eventually he relented and married her, right? Maybe because she was a little bit young, right? 12 and a half. But now I want to remind you, in today's term, they marry, so, you know, the Sarah, the Ripley's people, in some parts of the world, they designate like boy to girl from whenever they were born, right? So, and they marry, like I heard in certain parts of the world, the girls marry at age of 12, right? Age of 12, you get it? And now there is a fact, a historical fact, that is Mary, mother of Jesus, Mary, mother of Jesus, gave birth to Jesus. She left the Temple Mount, right? The temple, right? And gave birth to Jesus when she was 13. Meaning she conceived him when she was 12 plus 3 months or so, right? Now, supposedly her husband or her caretaker or something like that was 99 years old, Joseph, right? Go figure, right? And one more. I one day was walking in a town here next to, close to us here in Illinois, Westmont, Illinois, not in Westmont. And then on the sidewalk, there is this evangelist, right? He was talking, you know, like shouting and talking and pointing at cars and so on. You know, he's evangelist, and he can say all he wants, right? You can disagree all you want as well. So as I was walking, I stopped by, and he had a camera, right, on his chest. Yeah, one of those cameras, right? So it turns out that he's on a mission, right? And I known that from his flipping language, right? Flipping stand language. But nonetheless, we discussed it, and he talked about blah 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 blah. And then I said, well, you know, from what I know, that in the Bible or somewhere, right, that King Solomon, who's a prophet in Islam, considered a prophet as well as king in Islam, right? Prophet, king, right? Prophet here, messenger, means he receives inspiration or revelation from God. There are levels of that, right? There are 42 levels of that. And I heard that he was married to 1,000 women, right? He had like 1,000 wives or something of the sort. Now he was incensed and disagreed. He said, no, 700, right? I mean, he was offended. I'm sorry, I put like 300 on top of the 700, but from what I know, it's really 1,000. Now, how old were they? We don't know, right? So here's the problem with that. Those who are making this script and believe in King David and Solomon, their Solomon was a husband of 1,000. So I was going to argue the price with him and say, okay, if I say 1,000, you say 700, we split it in the middle, we get something like 850. This is how you bargain in Damascus and the cities of Syria and here and there, yeah, in Homs, where I come from, Homs or Emesa, right? Right? So now, there is a problem with that. Couple of problems. One, we know for certain that we know for certain that he only had only one child or one son was mentioned to him. And that son of Solomon, right? The really main one. Or we don't know if he had anybody else really for a child, right? He didn't have children. Except that one son. And his mother was an Arab woman, Queen of Sheba. She was an Arab, right? This is funny, isn't it? Now here's the other argument that I'm going to make against him. Suppose he was married to 700, not 1,000. How often does a woman get a share? You know, you saw those clocks on the wall. You know how they illustrated those clocks on the wall, his wall of scores and so on. You know, 13 women and 13 watches because they exchange. He goes to one. You know, it's called round, right? You know, turn. They have turns, right? So how often, if he was over, I'm sure it was 1,000 from somewhere. I read that. How often does a woman? How often does he sleep with a wife, right? So if it's 1,000, so a woman has to wait like nearly 3 years because you know you do it like for 3 years every night. You're gonna go not. I mean, you're gonna go sick, right? So perhaps every wife of Solomon got to sleep with him probably once every 5 years. So if he, I don't know how old he lived. He was he lived old, not like very old. So a wife of Solomon slept with him maybe 5 times in her lifetime while she was married to him, right? Well, you see the point. Those who are trying to stereotype and portray Prophet Muhammad as such a, psychotic, sexually deviant, and so on and so forth, right? Like they say, if your house is made of glass, don't pelt people with rocks, right? With pebbles, right? Don't throw. If your house is made of glass, don't throw rocks at people because they throw rocks back at you, and your whole house will cave in, right? So, well, I mean, argument here is. Now, I want to say something. There are those who criticize him. If you look in the West, let's say the West, but I know the East as well, whether it's India, whether it's China, whether it's even in some parts of Africa, non-Muslims, really, talking about promiscuity and multiple partnership and I mean, it's appalling. And not just that, the abuse that is unreported and that is reported, it's devastating. Some of the numbers are devastating, whether in such a modern world, right? Like, so before you go talk about the man and try to fabricate lies about him, we know the history. Okay, so again, that's the prod, and it's broken. So this man, we know if that Prophet Muhammad has discontinued. Why? Because his only 3 sons died. 2 of his daughters died while he was alive, and he was left with 2 daughters, right? And one died not too long after him, 6 months after that, right? And then she had children, and she had like 2 boys and so on. So he wasn't totally cut, but his offspring and his heritage, like posterity, right, is through his 2 daughters, Zainab and Fatima, right? So through his daughters, but not through his boys. So there's some truth to that. But who helped do that? Guess what? His Meccan friends or relatives and so on. Who did they serve by that? Unintentionally or intentionally? Well, guess what? It's the Ripley and Sarah and that world. All right, I want to show you something else. So notice, poor Lambert, she's sad, right? Why is she doing what is she doing? If she had anything like 1% of what Sarah has in her mind, she would have fought violently to protect him, right? But no, I mean, she's being illustrated as feeble, as so on and so on. Maybe that's, I don't know. Yeah. Notice.
You read it. I thought it was clear. Bring back line 4. Priority 1. All other priorities rescinded.
So what he said is significant here, meaning the mission or the trip in space or the is really to bring back the xenomorph, right? Anything else is secondary. They want that, what they call as xenomorph, right? They know he's in there somewhere, and I showed you he is in Arabia, right?
Damn company.
Damn company, damn you, right? What he means by that, the company upstairs, right? The one who sent him. He is a robot, meaningly he's a puppet, meaningly he receives revelation. He's just not conducting things on his own, right?
What about our lives, you son of a bitch?
I repeat, all priorities are rescinded.
How do we kill it, Ash?
So, including the crew, right? Crew expendable. When he says crew expendable, it's not like on necessary basis, meaning the circumstances. Here it means what they're trying to say is get the xenomorph, and the order is destroy the crew, is what they're saying.
There's gotta be a way of killing it. How? How do we do it?
You can't. Bullshit. You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you?
So now they making the assumption that he's communicating to them some facts about him. I don't know how they get that. I don't know how they try to understand that, but they have some imaginations.
Perfect. All goes. Its structural perfection is matched and without hostility.
So that's, I'm sure that's his mother.
I admire its purity.
Purity. In Islam, so there, the color is brown. It's not blue like it's showing in the on the screen. Again, excuse my poor quality equipment here. My studio is not exactly up to speed. The camera is 4K, but I can't record at 4K. The TV is an old TV like 1080 and blah blah blah, right? So purity here, we purify, right? We're known for purifying things. Now some people may tell you that this was taken from an earlier religion, that of Sarah. That's not true, folks. We know. How do we know? Well, because the oldest manuscript, Sarah's manuscript, is 8th and 9th century, 300-400s after the appearance of Islam, right? And we know, we read their books and so on. It's all taken from Muslim scholars. You may say it's the other way around. No, that's not true, folks. We know even earlier than that, at one point, not the Tanakh, the Tanakh or the Halakha or the Torah itself disappeared from among the Jews. And then one in Babylon, one certain Jew in Babylon, I forgot his name, 300 years later, produced a book, wrote it himself, I think. He says, here, that's your Torah, right? So we know whatever was sent to Moses, those 5 books, that's all they had. And also some, some law and rules, right? Which was golden. Why? Because it was pure, right? Back then, right? Some of them, not all of them. So some of that, and even that actually was distorted and so on. But that's a different argument. I want to show you something else here. Now here, he could be given instructions. There is, let's say, the flip side of the movie is how to, for you, whoever listening to this, how you would understand what to do and how to behave, right? So he's given you that. And I have been in company of, the Ripley's for a long time. And they somehow, they resemble this narrative here. They kind of adhere and bear and assume this narrative in their life and in their thinking and so on. To the degree that they kill animals, like play animals and kill animals in such an ugly fashion, right? Like feeding chicks to lizard, and they laugh about it, and so on and so forth, right? And that's what the cat is, right? So here, if this was a
Perfect. All goes.
let's try again, right? So maybe this is instructions.
One. Priority 1.
Okay, that's enough. Oh.
Priority 1. All other priorities rescinded.
It's a damn company.
So again, maybe Ash here is speaking instructions to whoever adheres to Ripley's dogma, right? Or part of that verse, right? Or something of the sort. So that's probably it. That's what it is, right? Like a cat. When a cat attacks anything, right? Any animal, bunny, rat, deer, whatever it is, you look on their faces, you would see the impression of anger and hate toward the prey, right?
What about our lives, you son of a bitch?
I repeat, What are the priorities for assembly?
How do we kill it, Ash? There's gotta be a way of killing it. How do we do it?
You can't.
Yeah, you can. So, so he's really realistic.
Bullshit. You still don't understand what we're dealing with, do you? Perfect organism.
Perfect organism. What is a perfect organism? Like I say, the cat is a perfect organism, but now he is instructing. So you can't kill him, but he's instructing as well. So, I mean, that's the flip side of the movie, the other side of the coin, if you will. So he may be, this particular personality may be representing, you know, something internal or whatever, right?
Its structural perfection is matched when you invite us to let it.
We admire it.
I admire its purity. A step wider. I will climb it. Like conscience, remorse.
No conscience. Some Ripley's I dealt with, or I don't know, maybe all, they have no conscience or remorse or delusions of morality. Morality, they consider morality as an obstacle, as a deficiency, as a handicap. Honest to goodness, I'm not making this up. That's what I've seen all along.
Delusions of morality. But
And that is spread, as a matter of fact, by the Ripleys. That side is spread, right, among other humans. And once a human is void of morality or humanity, oh, they become animals.
no, that's it. I'm asking you to pull the plug. Not really.
They become animals and cannibalists, right? This here, making a zombie, I call it maybe making a zombie.
I can't lie to you about your choices. But you have my sympathy.
Here, the smile says he's lying, he's not stating the truth. You have my sympathy, or sympathies, right? But then he smiled. What does that mean? He doesn't really have sympathies. And as you can see, right, he's discontinued now. That thing is broken, right? He's discontinued from his male genetic line to a son, father to a son, and so on. That is no longer possible, is what they're trying to say. That there's truth to that. If it's Prophet Muhammad, this is the only moment when there's a truth. Is really his three boys died when they were young, and his two daughters died, and the third one died right after. So his offspring is really through two of his 7 children, and that's his 2 daughters, Fatima and Zainab.
We're gonna blow up the ship.
Notice, she's like, again, you know, they're working her out. She's under their psychological control, right? And she's doing their bidding. She's carrying out their bidding, especially Sarah, right? She's playing with her mind. So she may mean the occults that grew in Islam itself, such as Shiism or Shiitas, Sheetaz, or Shiites, right? Shites, or TTS. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know, they're in Iran and Iraq and here and there. And they're Alawis as well, you know, Alwis or Z, Alawis, or Alwiz, right? And they caused a lot. And Karmatians, you know, Qarmatian. They were established by Sierra or her, you know, her crew, motley crew. All right, so now there is some kind of communication. We're going to blow up the ship, right? So he agrees. Blowing up the ship, as I showed you, I think in the transitory video, is when the ship is blown out, all colors, brown, blah, blah, yellow, red, whatever it is, they get destroyed, right? Except the blue, that's what remains at the end.
We'll take our chances in the shuttle.
Right? Poor Lambert. Look at Lambert. So when they're communicating to each other, they mean they want to waste her.
Well, what was she?
Let's look again. Keep looking at the subtle eye communication associated with words between Lambert, between Ripley and Parker.
You have my sympathy.
Observe after that.
We're gonna blow up the ship.
Notice they're looking at each other and then they're talking about hair. I think they want to waste hair. Why? Because they don't want hair to produce another ash or another one, because out of hair came such a potent, ash, right? The one who changed the world.
We'll take our chances in the shuttle. Blow up
See?
the ship.
The game is on now. The stage is set to destroy her. But poor Parker, he doesn't know that Ripley is gonna burn him as well. See the way he's looking at her? And feeble, poor Lambert. I mean, she's being played like a dummy, right? Against her own. Now, I did show you. Notice Ripley. Okay. So Ripley here is showing with one eye, right? Does that mean she's not really human? I am lately thinking that, yeah, those Ripleys are not exactly human like Lambert is. So Lambert, this here, is the same nature as this here. The fallen angels, the Nephilims, daughters of Lilith, and I don't know. And then here, you can see she extends her hand, and there's a watch, right? What does that mean? It's a matter of time before Lambert is gone, right? So they mean to really destroy her. They could have left her here, right? But she's gonna fight. Here, what they're trying to do is not leave her on her own. Again, they don't want to let her off their sight, of their view. They want to watch her all the way to the end until she's gone. Why? Because the xenomorph may produce another one like Ash through hair, right? Or the first one, Kane. So Kane, and then Ash, and then maybe someone else. So here, notice, right? So the look here is unmistakable, right? And the watch is unmistakable as well. So she's gonna press the button and Lambert is gone. I don't know. I mean, if she means to destroy him as well, but we'll find out. I mean, in the transitory video, it actually did hit me that she wanted to do away with them. She heard a voice telling her to begin, and that was not that of Parker. All right, so there she is. So maybe she's not human, one-eyed monster. Who is another one-eyed monster, right? Let me show you who is. I was gonna make a comment on that movie, right? Oh, there's a lot of secrets in that movie. I think I'll make so she's looking with one eye. See what this movie is trying to say, that she is not a human, right? One-eyed monster, right? She's a devil, right? All right, let's continue. It does look like I may have to make two different videos on commentary as well. I have a lot to say. Yeah, she's goner. She's definitely goner. But there will be intervention. Now, again, in the Muslim dogma and belief, there is hostility towards Satan, right? Who is not considered a fallen angel, but rather a third type of creation, made out of smokeless fire, while angels are made of light, pure light, and humans are made of mud, but they have something called spirit uh, constructed in them by Allah or God, right? So let's see. So here, supposedly, finally, Satan came to beat him, right? And his religion, meaningly, and burned it, and so on and so forth. There's some truth to that, but really, it's not as extensive and as successful as they try to, insinuate or portray. So here, this is the again, this is the cup. Now the cup is down, right? And here is that's the phallus, and he's broken. That's it. He's no longer able to reproduce. Well, he's dead too, right? Supposedly. So they cut him off, is what they're trying to say. They really don't have much to do with it, but guess what? The assumption that he's discontinued by way of male hierarchy or heritage, yes, that is true. And again, see the look on his face? There's like this deep-rooted hatred, right? As I explained, void of morality and unbothered by conscience and so on and so forth, right? So here, what that means is he's unmasked, right? And his true nature shows up, that he's just a puppet. See, the cover is burned off first. See, that's what they're trying to say here, is that he's really something behind something. Projecting, like masquerading as so-and-so when he's not so-and-so, is what they're trying to say. So here, when they show you the ship moving in space, it means that time is passing by, right? On a historical basis, right? And that's Freezerinos. Freezer in outer space is what they're thinking about doing. So now time is passing by, right? So I counted 7 or 8, maybe 800 years, I don't know, maybe 400 years. So time is passing by here. Time is moving forward. Nothing happens at the same moment, right? So here, after that event, they are moving forward to Prophet Muhammad, right? Which is, I don't know, 2,000 years between Ishmael and call me Ishmael and between Prophet Muhammad. I don't know. No longer than that, actually. I think probably 2,000 to 3,000 years.
This is just an ordinary fraud.
Okay, here I made a point about this. If it's financial, I want to tell you something about it again, right? And again, that's a prod, I think. I don't know. That's a prod. And that's a noose. Noose, prod, guillotine or something. I don't know. So definitely a prod, looking like the prod that Brett devised, which is really a phallus, right? And then there's a noose. And then there's a, I don't know what the heck that is, like electrical machine or something, execution. I don't know. Right? Okay, let's move on.
Back to the old Freezerino.
That Freezerinos is going to prove prophetic. You will see at the end. Okay, so now, as you can see, the tone has changed. Now they're making him feel like the family. And why? Because he's uninitialized, right? He doesn't know. So they make him sign things. They make him buy things. They make him do so and so and so and so. Once that's done, they do away with him, and then they inherit all that he has, and then they conduct themselves on his signature or on his will, or that he doesn't know about, or something like that. So they bring him as a child into, say, such a new island, big island in between the Pacific and the Atlantic, right? And then when he lands, he doesn't know what he's doing, right? You know, he's a very young, right? And so they make him cough up all these, and they lead him on without him sensing, saying things, signing things, and right? And once they've done doing him so and so, they take his offspring as well. So they're looking for his offspring, right? So, and guess what? He just they basically trash him, right? Not just that. When they do so, there's like that loss feeling or show of loss and hatred and so on, right? So he's like his mother, right? He's like his mother. He's feeble. He doesn't know what's going on. But the host is definitely in him, right? And they're playing him, right? So that's what it is. Once they've taken all that he has and whatever by way of camaraderie, they convince him of things that doesn't exist. They're actors, right? They're hypocrites, right? They project a personality that is definitely not what they're really all about. It's on the inside, they're opposite. What happened to this guy, right? So they're talking about something that he's not aware of, really. He just wants to eat, right? Like buy shares, whatnot, and he doesn't know about, right? He thinks he's just like them, right? Because he and everybody else has the right for shares and legitimate money and so on. No, he's not. Out of him, they're going to really draw all that they can draw, and that's everything, and more if they can. Is there more things than everything? In their opinion, there is. It's called virtuality, crypto, whatnot, and so. Yeah, see, for him, that's the Last Supper. So you guess it's Jesus? No, for him, it's the Last Supper, right? That's when they crucify him. Now they're crucifying him. Notice they're all happy. The guy is coughing up everything. The problem with me is Lambert, The problem I have with Lambert is, if that's your own woman, what are you doing, right? Surely, if you dispose of him and say he's so powerful, right, and contains something so powerful, surely those are not going to spare you, right?
The first thing that I'm going to do when I get back is to get some decent food.
See, his rapport and camaraderie and family and enthusiasm, and I can go on, and he's wearing the black emblem now, right? Those Zoroaster wings, the angels.
You pound down the stuff like this.
Pounding down, like she's giving a hint or something. I don't know. Now see, he's drooling over the white girl. Off-white, sugary. She's got like white plus some brown plus some yellow. I don't know. So notice he's I don't know if that's part of the script or not, but it certainly looks awkward.
Right now,
She didn't like that, but she didn't say anything. Is he talking about him? Other food, meaning he's ingesting poison, and then she kind of like flinched a little bit, maybe, but I think it's different. All right, I'm going to stop here and then go to another scene. Okay, so now I got another point to make about the net, right? And the egg. And the egg here means, like I said, color, a green color is that of Islam. And when the egg is turned upside down, right, oozing that supposedly green slime, right, and then they're catching it by the net, right? So here I'm trying to say is like being trapped, right? And the egg, of course, in space, surrounded by nothing, is God, right? And then it's oozing Islam, which is green color, and they make it look like a slime, right? And it's got the four the forelips and the one inside, right? The xenomorph inside, right? Like that, right? Right? And then they trap it, right? Is what the assumption is. So that's a good theory. But the other theory is, you know, when this movie has financial undertone to it, and that's the United States, maybe when they turned it upside down and the green fluid or matter that is oozed out of it, that is drained out of it and caught by the net, is really dollar, the green dollar, you know, the greenback. So that also plays this and that. So the egg is pouring out its dollars, right? So that's that. And I showed you Frisky Parker. All right, let's see. I got a few things here. Yeah, I think I may have to. Make another commentary video here. So that's not bad. So yeah, the egg upside down make him, you know, they're trying to squeeze the dollars out of him, right? Okay, here, one last note in this video. When the xenomorph is, or call me Ishmael, the sperm whale is breaking out, right, breaching out, there is a green ashtray and there is a blue dish here with, I don't know, I can't tell, you need to know what that is. So the ashtray, the green ashtray, again, green is the color of Islam, and then the blue is the color of Judaism, right, supposedly. And that is being burned, right? Here, that's what it means, I think. It means it's burned. But if we continue, right, this will disappear, right? So there's 3-1 here. I do not know what that is really. 3-1, maybe a number, maybe grapes and orange, but they all mean something here. This is not a random haphazard thing, right? And they're holding him down so that he won't, like I said, regurgitate or throw up or the poison or try to run away or something. He is being fixed even when he's being killed. Like I said, they poisoned him when they met him after he woke up, right? When they talked to him, Freezerinos and whatnot, and they gave him poison. And Parker may have been talking about poison, the stuff that he doesn't want to ingest. Okay? So let me show you something. Okay, so the look on his face, right? He's surprised. Well, he knows things, right? But maybe not everything, right? Let's see. She's very concerned. So here you can see there's a change. Those dishes are gone, right? And there's a dish with sliced, right? That green ashtray is no longer here. And I do see Balaji. That pack of cigarette, Balaji, Imperial, the Arab, right? With the turban and smoking pipe. There it is, right? There it is, right there, just above his shoulder. Here there are slices of orange. He's just being sliced. The green ashtray is gone, and that's his situation. I don't know what else to see here. Let's see. But notice this is very important because I showed you in the earlier video that Balaji signifies him, right? He's an imperial thing, right? Now his cup is down. His cup is empty. Remember Nietzsche? The Becher, right? Filling the Becher, you know, like the cup is filled. Right? Now it's empty. His cup of coffee is empty. His Bolaji is gone. Notice. Everything is significant here. Everything, right? And then again, like I said, this xenomorph here will turn out to be Bolaji, not Bolaji, rather sperm whale, call me Ishmael, and so on. But the later xenomorphs are not sperm whales. This is only significant here, right? Out of him came something very powerful. Sperm whale, very powerful being, right? It feeds on giant squids and so on. Nothing can even eat it in the ocean, right? Uh, and it's got the largest brain among mammals, I believe. All right, let's see. Like I said, and the controls already here, communications lines and controls. This guy is already controlled by, upstairs and so on. Or maybe these are the controls he uses. But then the controls, all the controls ends in the White House, as I showed you in one of the videos. Oh, how cute. All right, I'm going to stop here for this commentary, and I believe I will make another commentary video. And that commentary video will be also, because I have more notes to make a commentary on. And you know what? I wouldn't even cover the movie, and I may be mistaken about some personalities and so on, but here I cracked open the whole thing from start to end, right? All right, enjoy this video, and I'm going to make another video. I'm going to review my comments because I still have quite a few to make comments on here in this particular scene. And then I think the next video, the main video commentary, will be the last one. I think number 9. Have a nice day. December 24th, 2024, 8:05 p.m. Westmont, Illinois.